going to call to order the meeting of Pasadena Independent School District Board of Trustees in regular session on Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021 by telephonic and/or video conferences and in person in accordance with suspension of certain provisions of the Texas Open Meetings Act is authorized by the Governor of Texas and the state's Attorney General at 5:30 p.m. Board members present, Ms. Maricel Keano, Mr. Fred Roberts, Mrs. Nelda Sullivan joining us by Zoom, Mr. Jack Bailey, Mr. Kenny Fernandez, Mr. Marshall Kendrick, and myself, Vicki Morgan, also joining by Zoom. Board members absent? None. Let the record indicate that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting is duly called, and that notice of this meeting was posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. The invocation this evening will be given by Mr. Kendrick and the pledges by Ms. Keano.
Stay with me. Father, we come to you today thankful for the beautiful weather you brought us. We are praying for many, many people, employees and friends of the community and personal situations that have had some damage during the cold time. We pray for fast response and for materials to be able to cover those damages. We pray for those that are needing your help right now and spiritually. And we also pray especially for Steve Fleming's family. We pray that you'll be with them, that they will know of your presence, that you'll give them comfort, that you'll pour out your grace on them. And we pray also for Karen, the loss of her loved puppy. Father, we thank you for the fact that we did not have as much damage as we could have in our school buildings. And we know that we'll have the rest of them taken care of soon. We thank you for those that have been spending extra time to make sure our kids get back to school. We thank you for this district, for the dedication to students, and for the great job that they do. And be with us tonight as we have this meeting, that we might have discernment and do things according to your will. In your name we ask it. Amen.
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 Amen. Please join me in the pledges to the American flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Stand under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
and to the Texas flag.
Flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Somebody's right behind them. As usual.
We're cutting out real bad. At least I'm cutting out real bad on Zoom. Nelda, are you having problems?
Not so far.
Okay. All right.
We can hear you good here, Mrs. Morgan.
Okay, good, good. The board is going to adjourn to closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code sections 551.074 for the purpose of considering the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer, employee, or to hear complaints or charges against a public officer or employee, concerning matters related to the superintendent's recommendations to hire administrative personnel and/or the superintendent's recommendations related to renewals, non-renewals, and terminations of contracts for professional personnel. 551.071, to consult with district's attorneys concerning matters on which the attorney's duty to the district under the Code of Professional Responsibility clearly conflicts with the Texas Open Meetings Act. To seek the advice of its attorney about pending or contemplated litigation or a settlement offer, and/or to consider legal advice regarding items specifically listed on the agenda. 551.072, for the purpose of discussing the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. We will reconvene in open session at 7:00 p.m. Then the board is going to reconvene from closed session at 7:00 p.m. First order of business is the public hearing of the annual performance report, including the 2019-2020 Texas Academic Performance Report, TAPR. And I think our presenter is Donna Summers.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening to the school board, Superintendent Powell, and guests.
This evening, we are fulfilling the public hearing requirement of the Texas Education Code 39.362. This statute requires each district to hold a public hearing of the 2019-2020 annual performance report. By law, the report must include PDFs of the Texas Academic Progress Reports as distributed by the agency, the district's accreditation status, the district's current special education determination status, campus improvement plan performance objectives from 2019-2020, a summary of violent or criminal acts, student performance in post-secondary institution, and links to the 2018-2019 financial actual reports. As a special note for the 2019-2020 report, TA did not update the performance section of the report because spring 2020 STAR was canceled amid the COVID pandemic. Instead, performance data for 2018-2019 is shown. So we just want to all be aware that that data is 2.5 years old from what you will see there. In addition, the annual report will be posted under required postings for accountability on the district website within 2 weeks of this hearing to ensure that it is widely available. Special thanks to Bruce Stone and the Communications Department for preparing and posting the electronic report each year. While most of the report components were covered in prior board meetings throughout the 2019-2020 school year, I would like to highlight just a few items. First, the class of 2019 had a graduation rate of 90.4%, putting the district back over the 90% mark after 2 years at 89.9%. So we're very excited about that. Second, also related to the graduates of 2019, college ready and career ready percentages increased by approximately 8% each. And the state will report on the class of 2020 this coming summer. Third, just an interesting note, if you look at teacher experience by year bands, we have 1/3 of our teachers in the band of 1 to 5 years of experience, 1/3 of our district. And lastly, just to note, we have continued with the MAP growth assessment pilot that began last year in grades 2 through 8. We administered it in the fall and the winter. Of course, we could not administer it in the spring, but the campuses have done a fall and winter administration that is ending right now. So we look forward to seeing how growth went from the fall when they return this year to this winter as of this week. So that will be coming soon. With that said, that's the end of our hearing. Does the board have any questions for me?
Does anyone have any questions?
Congratulations.
You have a question?
Good.
And that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Donna, thank you for the presentation. At this point in time, do we have any audience member that has a question or comment? This is a public hearing. Okay, hearing none, we're going to move on to special recognition. Dr. Powell?
All right, Mrs. Morgan and board members, we have a lot of great things to share tonight. First of all, we are honoring 2 of our high school students who are here with us and their teachers for competing with students across the state, become a member of the prestigious 2020-2021 Texas Music Educators Association All-State Choir. This is big deal, right, Linda?
Very big.
I'm going to introduce Linda, but I always love this. She's the Director of Fine Arts, and she always puts on my paper that if I'd like to share a few words about the importance of fine arts, that I can feel free to do so.
Anytime.
So I'm going to improvise here and just say we love fine arts in Pasadena ISD. We're one of the 14 years of being one of the best communities. 14 years.
Hopefully in a few weeks it'll be 15.
I love it. So we love our students participating in fine arts. We know it's not a frills curriculum. It's proven over and over again that these kids perform higher in academics because their involvement in fine arts. We have the best, not one of the best, we have the best fine arts directors and teachers across this district. And of course, Linda's pretty great herself, and Mr. Holt's pretty darn great himself. He takes a lot of pain and suffering at the football games from us, but we love him. And we appreciate all that they do as well as all their teachers do. And then our principals and administrators across the district love fine arts and love to support it as well. But the board is your number one fan. So I'll turn it over to you. I improvised, but I did what you told me. So
Thank you.
go for it.
I want to thank you, Dr. Powell. I want to thank you, President Morgan, and board members for allowing me this evening to recognize these amazing students. And it's been as we all know, it's been a rough year, and these students have been amazing. If you would, Dr. Powell, you just said this is our 14th year. Go ahead, Eric. This is our 14th year in a row for outstanding commitment to music education, and that commitment comes from our board, starting with our superintendent and our board and our administrators. They all support, as Dr. Powell said, our students and our teachers. And our music educators, especially this last year, constantly go above and beyond their required duties to make sure that their students are successful. This recognition is a direct reflection of their commitment. It's evident that our community, our administration, and our school board support and encourage quality music education. Eric, TMEA had celebrated last year 100 years they were formed 100 years ago. And since we have 2 all-state choir students, I have a very short video, 2 minutes, how music helps us believe in ourselves, as this choir student will show you.
I think every parent wants their child to be happy, and that is my ultimate goal. My name is Mary Pat Detmer. My son is Nicholas Detmer, and he is a Base 1 choir student. Nicholas, when he was young, he loved to read. I read to him every night, and he read back to me every book. Then in first grade, his teacher called me and said, "Did you know Nicholas doesn't know how to read?" And I said, "Yes, he does. I have a whole bookcase full of books that he reads to me." And she said, "He, I believe, is dyslexic." And she explained to me that he was memorizing the books that I was reading to him. I thought, wow, he's pretty smart. Then he had these teachers that believed in him and said, "You can do this." And we think that if you got in choir, this would help with your reading and writing and speaking. He started choir and he just blossomed. His confidence went up and his grades started going up in all subjects. He would have been lost and he would have probably given up on himself. I truly believe that if these choir directors didn't believe in him and support him, putting their arms around him and saying, "You are something and you are special and you can be whatever you want to be," has brought him to where he is today. Being in AP classes and being accepted, he's been accepted by 6 different colleges, and being accepted to college music programs and being first chair and going to the all-state mixed choir. Because of what his choir directors have given to him, he wants to give that back to other children. If I could sum up one word that making music for Nicholas would be, I would say confidence. He would say passion, definitely love.
Music means a lot to each of our students. That makes me cry, sorry, because they're missing out so much this year. As you can see from the All-State, the composite score is way above the national and the state average. There are 15 All-State groups that our students in the state of Texas auditioned for, and there are usually around 67 to 70,000 students through the state of Texas auditioning for these 15 groups. And this year was even more difficult because of not being able to have the regular audition. These students, at the beginning, we were doing it virtually, working with them virtually online. And finally, when we got to work with them individually and face-to-face, they had to record every audition ahead of time and make sure it was the best that they could do, because once you push that send, that's it. You don't get to retry it again. So, Eric, if you'll go to the next one. These two amazing students have accomplished much this year, especially. They persevered through all the recorded auditions, the many recorded auditions they had to do, knowing that there was not going to be, they even knew there was not going to be a regular All-State that you saw in the video experience that they would get to have. And they still continue to grow as musicians and as young men and women. This process, I told you, began with 67,000 students across the state, and only 2% of these musicians get to be called an all-state student. We recognize these students tonight and have achieved the highest rank that they can at the high school level. I would like to present our all-state students, their parents, families, directors, and principals tonight. Santiago Fonseca is a sophomore. Eric, you can go to the next one. Is a sophomore at Pasadena Memorial High School. He is a choir officer and also a member of this year's varsity choir and the first edition show choir. After high school, he plans to pursue a career in music. Yay!
Go figure.
Madeline Blizzard. You saw her last year. She is a senior. She is a two-time All-State choir student from Pasadena Memorial High School. She is this year's choir president and a member of the varsity choir first edition show choir, bowling team, and hosts a program. After high school, Maddie will be attending the University of Texas at San Antonio and be major. Is that correct? Or did you change?
No.
Okay, University of Texas, I thought so, at San Antonio, will be majoring in biology and minoring in music. Congratulations, Maddie. I would like to ask the following people to stand and be recognized. Madeline and Santiago's family and friends, would you please stand? Their directors, Mr. Daniel Jones, Ms. Christina Bartimo. Their principal, Mr. Jeremy Richardson, is already standing, and assistant principal, Mr. Bosley, David Bosley. Thank you for all you've done to support these students' journey in their musical career. And board and Dr. Powell, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate all the support you do give us and everything that you do for our children. We could not do this without you, and I thank you so very much.
We love you. Thank you.
Hey, I'll get old Jeremy to sing for you. That's a treat.
We are immensely proud of these students of the fine arts program that is afforded throughout the district, and the leadership that these teachers and administrators have in the role that they play in making sure that every student gets a quality education no matter what. It was a great presentation, Linda. Thank you so much. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. Next year's going to be number 15. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and proceed with the meeting. And next,
More special recognition
oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
for tonight. It's going to be a big night. So we have a special guest here. I'm going to introduce her in just a second. She is here, Acacia Croft. She's the Senior Partnership Specialist for Census 2020, and I'll let her come on in just a second. But I have a lot of people that worked with this, of course, initiative for the district. So I want to give them a second to wave on Zoom, or if they're here, wave. Karina Izagiri with Special Programs did a lot of work regarding the census. Jessica Janata with CNI, our social studies specialist, did a lot of work with the curriculum and working with teachers, so we appreciate her. Art Del Barrio, of course, he's at T-Spur tonight, so I don't think he's on, but of course he has done amazing work as well. Troy McCart, oh, he's here, okay. He looks like he's at a restaurant. Hey, Art, do you have a good day? All right. and Troy McCarley, there in the back, and Gloria Gallegos, Associate Superintendent for Special Programs, and of course, the City of Pasadena and the City of Houston were big partners. So I'm going to turn it over now. Acacia Croft is the Senior Partnership Specialist, like I said, of the United States Census 2020, and she's going to recognize, of course, our district and special programs as a member of the 2020 Census Community Partnership and Engagement Program. So, Ms. Croft, I'll turn it over to you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Powell and Ms. Gallegos. I want to also introduce my colleague, Samuel Patton. Sam, can you wave? Samuel Patton is also a partnership specialist for the U.S. Census Bureau. We were a team of 33 covering a geographic region from the Prairie View line all the way to the border of Louisiana and Southeast Texas. Wow. And we are here today to thank Dr. Powell, Ms. Gallegos, and Pasadena ISD. As a former teacher of 15 years, both stateside and overseas, Ms. Gallegos committed to census outreach, strategic census outreach, and has incorporated almost every division of Pasadena ISD. She has been at every meeting that I have planned as a Bureau employee. She has been at every meeting that the City of Houston has initiated. She has worked with food services. The Texas Counts Complete Count Committee has asked me to be I was the education liaison, just so you know. And when they asked me to join their meeting at the very end of the census, well, what we thought was going to be the very end of the census, they asked me for a superintendent who had done phenomenal outreach in terms of strategy, planning, engagement, and just getting the count. And I submitted Ms. Gallegos, and she will be followed up on. So we really wanted to be here today. It has been a journey. We want to thank you for being a historical part. I personally want to thank the teachers that I spoke to. I see Ms. Janota is on here, who did lessons with our Statistics in Schools program. Every step of the way, Pasadena ISD not only has strategy and innovation, but also kept engagement with the Bureau in terms of what is current, what is happening. And that is phenomenal, because if anybody knows what happened in 2020, it was not easy. Our schools are our primary contact with the communities, and Pasadena ISD is a large, historically undercounted population, as well as hard to count population. So thank you, Dr. Powell. Thank you, Dr. Gallegos. And we are currently in a extension period with the Bureau, hoping to possibly become an evergreen program, but we have no idea. As you can see, myself and Sam are committed. We're committed to this outreach. We're committed to this. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you all have been the model school district for the greater Houston area. So thank you for that. And I want to let my colleague say a few words, because he's going to let you know what's next, what will be coming up. So thank you, Pasadena ISD. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, and you will be getting a certificate, and it'll be on a wooden, it will be on a wooden knife. So, and I will either mail it or hand deliver it myself, but I just want to show you what it's going to look like when it comes.
Thank you, Mary.
Sam.
Thank you, Acacia, and thank you, Pasadena ISD. I just really wanted to briefly touch on, we're still waiting on 2020 census data to be released, but in the meantime, we still have all this other data from the American Community Survey, which is other data that, another survey that we collect data from every single year, every single month of every single year. And so we still have data that can be accessed, and kind of the next steps for us is to share with you all and other community members how you can access that data, and you can even narrow it down to the school district, so you can see in your school district what is the demographic, social, economic, housing characteristics in your school district, in your community. So we'll be in touch with Ms. Gallegos and everybody that worked on the census initiative within Pasadena ISD to further get that out. And I just wanted to close. I remember actually I got an email about a year ago, and it was a newsletter from Pasadena ISD, and it was every single census tract and every single response rate that broke it down, and it was just so amazing. And I won't drop any names, but I even showed it to another group that was working with a different school district, and I was like, can we like copy this? It's so cool, like it's showing everything. So I didn't personally work with a lot of you all, but just from what I saw rolling in was just so amazing. And as Acacia said, you all were just a model school district for doing census outreach. And thank you for making a difference and making your community a better place. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. That makes me extremely proud. Thank you all for presentation. Thank you to Pasadena employees, Gloria and your group that have really worked hard to get this done and to give us the information that we need. Thank you for being here.
Appreciate it. We've got 2 more awards. These are really important. This is the 5th consecutive year for our purchasing department to be awarded the TASBO Award of Merit for Purchasing Operations. The Texas Association of School Business Officials, TASBO, created this award in 2009 to recognize those school districts, open enrollment charter schools, and regional education service centers in the state that achieve excellence in purchasing operations. And as you all know, we have one of the very best purchasing directors. So Derek Gillard is here tonight. There he is, waving over there. And he, of course, has an assistant director, Lori Pruitt, but she is not here tonight. But they oversee the daily functions of the purchasing department and ensure that PISD purchases are made legally, ethically, and follow all federal, state, and local laws. So the Award of Merit, once again, is given for purchasing operations. It was presented virtually to Pasadena ISD during the TASBO conference, which I believe, Derek, you're an officer of TASBO as well. He shows up and represents us in some amazing ways. And it was only given to 51 school districts out of the roughly 1,000 in the district. So if you'll come forward, Derek, so we can recognize you for your amazing work.
Congratulations. Good job. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Congratulations on having you.
Good job, man. Good job, Derek.
Derek, thank you for your leadership and thank you to your team.
He has a great team and he's a great leader. And we have also, last but not least, the TASBO Award of Excellence for Finance as well, board members. This is the first year this award is being given out. It's a brand new award from the TASBO Award of Excellence in Financial Management for Business Office Operations. The Texas Association of School Business, TASBO, created this award just in 2020 to recognize those school districts, open enrollment charter schools, and education service centers that have implemented professional standards, best practices, and innovations in financial reporting. And you know our CFO, Carla Merca. Maritza Davis is back there as well, Director of Accounting. Bethany Jordan, Director of Budget. And they, of course, oversee the daily functions of the accounting and budget departments to ensure PISD is following all finance reports that are legally, ethically, and follow all federal, state, and local laws. So the TASBO's Award of Excellence in Financial Management from Financial Reporting was also presented virtually to Pasadena ISD at the conference on February 18, 2021. And get this. The award was only given to 8 school districts out of roughly 1,000 in the entire state. So come on up, award-winning finance department.
Congratulations. Thank you for the hard work. Congratulations to you.
Appreciate that.
Hey, how's the golf game?
Yeah, exactly.
Man, you come a long way. That's right. Always.
Carla, thank you and your department for the wonderful job you continue to do. We're so proud.
I just wanted to make a comment. I know we moved on from our first special recognition, but I just wanted to thank Linda Fletcher as well for that really, really touching video that you played, because I was that parent, quite frankly. My daughter is dyslexic, and she was that child that memorized everything and was quite brilliant in that respect and was a little bit difficult to identify and was a fine arts child as well. And so, you know, I just really wanted to thank our staff, because had it not been for the great teachers and peer facilitators and principals and everybody that she had along her journey from elementary school, that they were able to identify her, she would, who knows where she would be today. And so she was able to be successful throughout high school and graduate from college with her degree. So I just want to thank you for that, because it really, truly touched my heart. And it is programs like these that make our students successful in life. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Keano. Okay, we're ready to move on. We have no public comments tonight on agenda items, so let's move to the consent agenda. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kendrick, seconded. Who was that, Jack?
Yes, it was.
Okay, by Mr. Bailey. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Moving to the personnel section. Consideration and possible approval of the cooperative agreement with Texas A&M University, Pasadena ISD for clinical teaching placement.
So moved. Second.
Okay, that was, who was that? I know second was Ms. Keano. Who made the motion?
I did. Nelda.
Okay, Ms. Sullivan, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there, so, okay, motion by Ms. Sullivan, seconded by Ms. Keano. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Certified personnel for 2020-2021 school year is for information only, as is support personnel for 2020-2021 school year. Both of those are for information only items. We're going to move to the educational section. Consideration possible approval for internet router and switches, E-rate, CSP number 21P010DG to Layer 3 Communications, LLC.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, seconded by Mr. Roberts. Discussion.
Board members, I just want to point out, this item and the next item, of course, are E-rate. So those amounts are reimbursable just later. So we just want to show you the potential impact to the budget, but those are reimbursable amounts at a later time.
Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification, Dr. Powell. Okay, no discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Consideration and possible approval for Internet Port Service, CNDC, E-rate, CSP, number 21P015DG to Pure Speed Lightwave, PS Lightwave, Inc.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Kendrick, seconded by Mr. Fernandez. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Consideration and possible approval for the rejection of all responses submitted for CSP number 21P-013DG for Internet Port Service without transport, E-rate.
So moved. Second.
Okay, I'm not seeing, who made that motion?
Fernandez.
Mr. Fernandez made the motion. Was that you, Jack, that seconded, or Fred?
No, Fred.
Okay, Fred, Mr. Roberts seconded the motion. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Consideration and possible approval for the rejection of all responses submitted for CSP number 21P-014DG for Ethernet transport to Internet port E-rate.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Fernandez, seconded by Ms. Sullivan. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it, motion carries. We don't have any policy this evening, and we have plenty of student achievement going on across the district. We just don't have any in the board book at this time. Let's move to the financial section. Consideration and possible approval of budget amendments for January.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kendrick, seconded by Ms. Keano. Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Consideration and possible approval of board resolution regarding declaration of emergency, employee compensation, and purchases due to inclement weather the week of February 15th through 19th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, seconded by Ms. Keano. Discussion?
Just unfortunately, board members, this comes more and more common, it seems like, but it's necessary to pay our employees and take care of our buildings to get us back in order.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you do it in a wonderful way. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Next, we have a treat. We have a spotlight on the Pasadena ISD Police Department, and our presenter is Chief Stuart Russell.
So as he gets set up, board members, I was just going to remind you at a training that you had at Region 4, we talked about spotlighting some of our awesome departments that sometimes you don't get to hear directly from on a regular basis. So since that training, each month we've been bringing, or each board meeting, we've been bringing you different departments. And tonight you get the treat of the Pasadena ISD.
Together by Captain Stanley Baskin gave the oath of office to Lee Oliver and Louis Enderby, become the first two police officers for the Pasadena Independent School District Police Department. Almost 40 years ago, that happened. Today, 40 years later, the department now consists of 34 police officers, 85 crossing guards, 5 dispatchers, a secretary, a records manager, and a crossing guards manager. The department's grown quite a bit over those years. The department is divided into 2 divisions. Patrol division is supervised by Captain David Garza, Sergeants Lonnie Smith and Jason Grice report directly to David, and 2 officers that are assigned to be detectives also report directly to David. In turn, Lonnie and Jason supervise 2 officers assigned to each of the 5 traditional high schools, 1 officer assigned to Dobie 9th Grade Center, 1 officer assigned to CTHS, 3 officers on North Patrol of the district, 3 officers that patrol the south part of the district, and 1 officer that's a rover that responds to any hot spot or any area that needs added attention. In addition to these day shift patrol officers, we have 2 officers that serve on evening shift and 3 officers that work graveyards. On the administrative support side services of the department, Captain Bill McMahon supervises Trey Morris and Officer Joe Starfile. Trey also supervises the 5 dispatchers. The main role of the administrative support services division of the School District Police Department is to take care of all the necessary tasks it is to keep the patrol officers on the street, keep them equipped, keep them supplied, also take care of any special assignments and training. We're very proud that Bill and Trey personally taught over 35 classes to our officers and to officers of the surrounding agencies, such topics as legal updates, patrol tactics, and school-based law enforcement. The state of Texas requires peace officers in Texas to achieve 40 hours of continued education each 2-year cycle. This year, our officers are on track to have over 80 hours each during this 2-year cycle, so we're very proud of that. I'd also like to take this opportunity to say how proud I am of our School District's Police Officers Association. 15 years ago, members of this department saw that there was a need for children at Christmas time. And we took it upon ourselves. The Rockets were doing great in basketball that year, very different than this year. And we started a barbecue fundraiser that during Thanksgiving we would sell barbecue plates at the Cleveland Ripley Center. And the first 2 years we bought basketballs for kids that were in need. We continued for 4 years at the Cleveland Ripley Center doing the barbecue fundraisers. And then we had the opportunity to switch to a golf tournament. For 4 years, our officers sponsored and put together a golf tournament for the school district, which also that was our first time that we provided scholarships. And as most of you know, for the last 7 years, our School District Police Officers Association has sponsored a car show. And over those 7 years, we've contributed over $70,000 in scholarships to the students of our district. So very proud of that. We have an amazing group of men and women that work for the department. From the crossing guards that are out there 2 hours a day or an hour and a half a day in the mornings and in the afternoon. It doesn't matter what the weather's like. From them, and it's amazing the relationships that they are able to build with the people, the kids they cross. We occasionally a crossing guard will retire or get relocated, and the community, the parents are in an uproar because a lot of times that same crossing guard crossed them at that very location. It's just a great group. I'm very honored to be the leader of such a wonderful department. The men and women that have their hearts here for the children of this school district, and we are just so blessed, and we know it. And I really appreciate Dr. Powell and the board for the blessings that you've bestowed on us and given us the opportunity. As we watch the news at night and see how our brothers and sisters in blue throughout the country, how they're treated, and the kind of things that they have to put up with, we know we're blessed to have such a loving family that we're part of. And we're very grateful. We're very appreciative. The school district's been a great place. Most of you know that when I had interviewed here, I'd said I would be here for 2 years, and now I'm on year 29. So it's a fabulous job, and I want to say thank you to each of y'all for the opportunities that you've given me and my department. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to say, and I know we talked earlier today, but you guys do have a good department, a great department, great camaraderie, and you guys are the liaison within our community, but also with these kids and understanding what it is, what a police officer really is, and gives them that hope that they can turn to you guys instead of run from you guys. I know whenever I first got on the board, I saw you guys out there at Memorial or the LP Card building cooking for the operations. And that's because they went after it when Phil Roberts School was opening up and put in overtime, and you guys stepped up and said thank you to those guys by cooking them burgers and hot dogs. You know, and that's just the small things that you guys do. You highlighted a few things, but there's so many more things that you guys, I'm sure we could be all night listening to what you guys do. So thank you very much from the board and our administration.
Well, we see it at different events, but specifically at graduation, when you see the kids go up to you and look for you guys, that's really special, because that connection for a young person is really, really amazing. And it's amazing for me to see, I know specifically, you know, because I have a lot of interaction with young people in my business, but when they feel that they can actually go up to an adult, and not just an adult, but an adult in a uniform with a badge, is spectacular. So thank you. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Just as we know, we're judged by our fellow officers all around the country. We know that we have the opportunity to make a difference in children's lives, and that if we can get them off on the right foot and get them to where they know that we're not the boogeyman, that we are there to help. Sometimes it means educating the parents to get them point across that we're not the guy that you're supposed to hold out for punishment over your child. We're here to help. We want them to be able to come to us if they need something. And working here at the school district, it's been such a great opportunity to do that. I've had the opportunity to meet so many great people and make so many new friends and great relationships. Thank you.
Chief Russell.
I want to tell you, I've been here 28 years, and I've always felt safe with you guys around me. I've never, ever, I mean, we see some nutwads coming through here. And so I got to tell you, I have always felt safe when you guys are around. And I appreciate that. And I haven't had the opportunity to thank you. And I'd appreciate if you'd tell your man that also, because whether it's going out to my car or going to a game or whatever, sometimes there's a parent upset or kid upset or whatever the case may be. But never, ever did I feel like my life was in danger, whether it just be harm or my life. With you guys there, I felt 100%. I felt good. So thank you, Chief Russell, and thank you, people, for me.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Chief Russell, I want to add my thanks to that, to everything that has been said so far. I appreciate all of your staff and the commitment that they have to PISD, to the students, to the families, to the teachers, to all of our staff, and for keeping us safe and giving us peace of mind in knowing that we've got somebody that has our back and has the back of all of our students and our staff. Thank you. I've always had so much respect for our PISD Police Department, and I know that respect will continue. Thank you so much.
And I want to second all of those comments, Chief Russell. I certainly appreciate you more than you know.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to consideration and possible approval of allowance expenditure authorization, AEA, number 002 for the new maintenance, operations, and warehouse facility project in the amount of $40,425.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Fernandez. Was that you, Ms. Sullivan?
Yes.
Seconded by Ms. Sullivan. Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Consideration and possible approval of AHERA 3-year reinspection services agreement with Laughlin Environmental Services, Inc. in the amount of $24,700.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Fernandez, seconded by Ms. Sullivan. Discussion?
Question. Is this for the next 3 years, or is this $24,000 per year?
For the next 3 years.
Next 3 years? Wow. Good price.
Any other questions? Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Ayes have it, motion carries. No construction updates, so we'll move to the miscellaneous section. First is consideration and possible adoption of Pasadena ISD legislative priorities for the 87th Texas Legislature is outlined in the attached document.
So moved.
Second.
Was that you, Mr. Kendrick?
Yes.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Kendrick, seconded by Mr. Fernandez. Discussion?
Just board members, we get asked by BAHEP, different organizations, the chamber, others that want to know the legislative powers that they can take forward. I know each of you, of course, have your own voice in this, but we do get asked on many occasions. So I appreciate you taking action on this tonight so that we can publicly share it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next, we have public comments related to topics not listed on the agenda. And we have Ms. Rabe here. Ms. Rabe, you know the way this is handled. You have a maximum of 3 minutes. I've asked Mr. Bailey if he will time keep, and he'll let you know when a minute is left. You may begin. Now.
Thank you. Good evening. I am Yenwin Rabe. Good evening. My name is Yenwin Rabe, a former teacher at Pasadena High School of 14 years. I'm currently teaching in HISD, and I'm running for Pasadena ISD School Board.
No, ma'am.
Position
No.
3.
We don't. Ms. Rabe, you don't. Everybody is to not listen to that. This is not a political announcement.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
For the recommendation of the Centers for Disease Control, water fountains at schools should only be used for refilling water bottles. When I found out from some faculty members and students that an alternative quality water source was not provided for students who forget to bring their water bottles, I wanted to donate bottled drinking water. I sought donations from the community and local businesses who were eager to contribute. From this came the idea to adopt a school for water donation. Before I visited the school, however, I tried to contact Superintendent Deanne Powell to see if she was aware of the urgent issue. I left messages 3 days in a row to say that I wanted to donate water. On Thursday morning, February 4th, I left a message for Pasadena High School Principal, Ms. Gomez, stating that I would like to donate bottled water. I then proceeded with the water bottle purchase and delivery. At the school, I was greeted enthusiastically by staff members and students. Nobody asked me to sign in or get a badge. However, the following day, I received a trespass warning issued by Pasadena ISD Superintendent Deanne Powell for being on the Pasadena High School campus. It was delivered to my workplace by a Pasadena ISD police officer. I was very surprised because I had never received a warning, nor was I asked to leave when I was on campus, as indicated in the document. I was even assisted by students, staff members, and 2 members of security to unload a pallet of bottled drinking water. As an educator, I understand the importance of hydration to students' health and learning. I am disappointed by the district's treatment of me. This incident amounts to intimidation as I try to highlight the lack of quality drinking water for students. At my current school, students are provided bottled water. I am appealing this trespass warning to consider a ban because I will not be able to go to any campus or school events without permission. What I would like to ask the school board is, what are you going to do about students who forget or are not able to bring their own water bottle? Thank you.
Ms. Rabe, one thing that you left out of your speech was how you gained entry to the school. You gained entry through a student. So this becomes a safety issue. The end.
So board,
nothing else from you, Ms. Rabe. Nothing else from you. Your time is up.
Yes.
So board members, just to let you know, unfortunately, Ms. Rabe did conduct some inappropriate I guess, entrance into our school, as found out by our Pasadena ISD police through their investigation by not following the district safety procedures for campus access. She texted current students during the school day. We have proof of that by the text and the statements given by students. We also have text from the student that morning telling the student she would be coming on campus. When she was asked by the police officer why she did not follow procedures, Ms. Robbie admitted to our police officer, and I quote, that she knew it wasn't right, but the student invited her in the building. This is the same student she texted as early as 8:45 a.m. She did call my office. That was the same week that one of our principals passed away, and I felt like my time was best spent on the campus where we had that tragic loss. We are responsible for the safety of all staff, all students. That's the bottom line, and that's what I'm committed to as superintendent. Ms. Robbie, you should know better than the general public. When you're told by a staff member, as you were told by the secretary, she wrote a statement saying that you needed to make an appointment and you could not go to the cafeteria, you should not have proceeded there, which you were in the cafeteria. As explained to Ms. Robbie very nicely by the police officer, this notice does not completely prohibit your presence on our property. Instead, it simply asks you to contact the district administrator when you want to gain access so that we can ensure that safety protocols were followed, because they were not in that case, and you admitted to that. And I'm sorry that that had to be done, but that was just a warning that we all have to, no matter who we are, a parent, a community member, no one wants someone coming on the campus, accessing our children, texting them, asking for their phone numbers, and taking selfies with them when they have no reason to be on that campus for that reason. We appreciate the donation, and I thank you for that. I do know that Ms. Gomez would tell you, like she probably told you before, they have provided water bottles for their students to fill water with. They've given them those. They've made announcements. They're following all the COVID procedures and protocols by the CDC. But please, in the future, we ask, that's all we do, is ask that you follow our safety procedures and protocols. And I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Powell. We're going to move on at this point in time.
I was not.
No, you may not say
and I was
anything.
not asked.
Was she,
I was
someone
not asked to
please,
leave.
she needs to be muted, please. We're going to move on to set the date for the next regular meeting. Suggest Tuesday, March 30th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Keano, seconded by Mr. Fernandez. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. At this point in time, there is no further business to come before this board, so this meeting is adjourned at 7:53 p.m. Thank you for coming.